All right, guys. We're live here. It's Picasaur Mondays, Tuesday if you're in Australia. But we're gonna cater to the rest of the world like the nice guy I am and call it Picasaur Mondays. And it is going to be a nice tournament series. I think we're in the semi-finals now with Dark against MAXPAX. And looks like, can MAXPAX with this early Stalker get the Overlord? He's going to have to run out there to chase it down, but he's going to go for it. Adept, meanwhile, shading backwards very safely, and Dark is going to go for the third. Now, obviously, we're coming in 3 minutes in, guys. Because the hatchery's on location, I assume MAXPAX on this map didn't try to get in there with it, and you know, with a probe to block it. Amygdala, it's pretty rare to do that anyway. The Stalker was in the wall off, then realized, wait, there's no wall off. Oh, MAXPAX probe micro is so good, though. He's played so many games against Clem's Reapers. He is truly exceptional at running those units away, and I don't think you mind using a little bit of Oracle energy there. Usually you do want to refill, but he's still going to dive across the map. That is the second Oracle. First one comes in, gets itself a lava, and is going to kill that Spore and Drone as well. Very nice. At least Dark cancels the Spore to get 57 minerals back, but great damage to begin here for MAXPAX as the second Oracle. He's got enough energy now. And oh, it's open. It's open. There's nothing there. Dark with a massive misstep. He's been far too greedy. You are meant to be down slightly on drones at this point, but Dark, he was ahead on drones for a little bit even there. Does lose 3 workers for being so greedy. Oracle here comes back in as well. MAXPAX, the master of multi-prong. Now, Lair's gone down very early, and that does tell you something. As MAXPAX, I'm pretty sure he saw that, right? Yeah. Tells you your opponent's going to be going for Hydras very early on. And if there was ever a game to build at Templar Archives and go for Storm 5.5 minutes in, it's when you see a fast Lair from Dark, right? Except, not really, because that would be too dangerous. Because what if he does like one of his Nidus Wormhole-ins or his Queen Zergling Floods? Probably just stick to the standard path. I think MAXPAX feels like his standard order will keep him safe against those early Hydra masses. And especially on this map, we've seen a lot of early Hydra attacks kind of run into a wall recently. Oh man, too much damage. Dark! He had a really sloppy series before this, guys, and look at his units lost tab. He's lost 11 units. I don't think that was necessary. I think he should be losing a bit less than this. He does hit a supply block on 54 workers, 74 out of 74 supply. He's got plenty of Overlords building, 7 at once right now, along with that Hydra Den. No 4th base started, though, and it's getting close to 6 minutes, which means, as a Zerg, you'd like to have your 4th base started. Ideally at 5 minutes, but definitely no later than 6 minutes when you're playing Protoss. Otherwise, it kind of puts you in a bit of a box where you really have to do damage with a lot of army. Otherwise, the Protoss will start running away with the game. 6 gases. I think that usually is about the sort of time when the Templar Archives might go down in this sort of game, but just Robo for now, +1, blink. Not going too crazy. MAXPAX is up 10 workers, and it's 55 drone Hydras for Dark. But off of an opening that's not very powerful, it does feel like it doesn't have a lot of sharpness to it. Now, we were saying before the series started, with the way Dark played his previous sloppy series, he won 2-0, but he did it in very much classic Dark Weekly Cup fashion where it was incredibly weird the way he was playing. You know, real little sloppy mistakes here and there, mixed in with just brilliant moves that allowed him to win nonetheless. Against MAXPAX, you can't be that sloppy. MAXPAX is way too tight. You know, there is a couple of guys at the very top of this StarCraft game right now, Hero, MAXPAX, Cyril, and Clem. You can't be playing sloppy against these guys. Dark's going Nidus, Hydraling all in. I think it's not a bad idea. He had a bad start. He needs to do something desperate. Hydraling on the front alone is not going to be able to break through, but if you Nidus at the same time, definitely could do it. Robobase starts up for MAXPAX. He wants to go for Colossus. Colossus hard counters mass Hydraling. He's not rushing in that direction. He is heading there. Stalker's going to try and deal with these Lings and Hydras as they start going for the debris. This is Zerg debris, guys. It's the Zerg Rocks special modern mechanic. It does slowly decay on its own. These rocks are about to open up anyway. Stalker's trying to fight as best they can. Big stasis! Oh! Well, that's going to slow Dark's attack down by 20 seconds. Dark's movement speed upgrade is on the way. He's taken the gold rocks down, so he is ready to take a gold to give him a bit of more, you know, transition power behind this. And where's the Overseer to get the Nidus up, guys? I feel like he should have sent an Overseer across a while ago. Oh, man. Stalker's standing and fighting. Dude, MAXPAX, brave. Maybe silly, though. That might have been a bit too cocky for MAXPAX, standing in front of 20 frozen Hydras with his Stalkers. First Colossus halfway done, though. He's just going to reinforce to the front. Is this just to bring Queens? More Hydras and Zerglings. I guess he's just going to use this to pop out on the front side, but Mixture of Stasis, Stap, Stalkers, and Colossus is going to be very hard to break. A wise cancel on the 4th Nexus for MAXPAX. He's not going to try and defend this. Oh, good focus with the Stalkers. Gets the Nidus Worm down. Dark's trying to move north right now. And he finds the Colossus. MAXPAX with a big mistake. Oh, that just might be able to open up an opportunity for Dark here. But this Nidus Worm on the south side, it's going to get up. It's going to get up because he's busy trying to defend his natural. The Robo gets taken down, depowered, which is a huge move. But these Hydras are getting gunned down. The Guardian Shield Stalker's doing pretty good here. I think blinking on top is the right play there. There's a few Hydras in his mineral line, the Probes, and a few Stalkers split to deal with it. Meanwhile, on the 3rd base, another wave of Queen Hydra Zergling. But I think cleaning up that northern army, you've kind of separated Dark's massive units, and it's no longer as scary. Even with a bit of creep here, you can see the way the Guardian Shields are doing so much. The Zealots in the choke point over there against the Zerglings holding on really well. And MAXPAX a bit too clean. You can imagine this is the sort of strategy. If Dark was not playing from behind so badly in the early stage, then I think he absolutely could have taken down MAXPAX with this. But playing from behind, hitting it so late, especially the Stasis Trap slowing down those Hydras moving across the map, makes it a bit harder to get set up. GG, well played. Lovely win in game 1 for MAXPAX. All right, guys, going into the next game. MAXPAX sent his probe across at the very start, which is kind of funny because Dark literally never rushes his hatchery. Even if he knows you're going to block, he never tries to rush it. And it looks like he's going to go for the hatch block counter. This build stopped working a while ago, guys, because every high-level Protoss knows he does this, and they know to send a second probe down, send this probe down early to block him, and then send a second probe, and he should never be able to get the hatchery block down. MAXPAX not blocking him, though. MAXPAX trying to bait him. He's going 2-gate. MAXPAX is like, please build the hatchery. I'm going to 2-gate you. What? Wow, MAXPAX doing a 2-gate. Guys, okay, no, he cancels the gate and builds the Nexus. Oh, okay. I think he thought he was getting 12 pulled for a second there. I think he thought it was a 12 pull hatch block. That's crazy. Soul Man, thank you for the 300 biddies. Pataski as well. Guys, thank you for the hype train. Nemoons with the sub as well. This is a live or a VOD game. Anytime you see me doing the weekly cup, it's a weekly cup. We're live. We're here live. Occasionally I'll cast a replay here or there, but you can always tell because it's a previous tournament. And usually the stream title will say, the best games of StarCraft. And you can type a bracket command as well if you guys are ever interested in seeing what we're commentating. And if you see that, the bracket command is going to tell you what we're commentating. But I never am doing reruns on this channel in terms of if you're ever wondering, do I just rebroadcast yesterday's stream? I never do that. I think doing that basically is just a way of tricking naive Twitch viewers, and it's shit. I don't like it. It's not my favorite way of doing it. Apologies for my French there. All right, probe's going to pull back. Drone's going to move away there as well. Stargate does start up. Yeah, nothing annoys me more than when I tune into a Twitch stream and I see it's a rerun, and there's like a bunch of people like, oh, hey, Mr. Streamer Man, I love your content so much. And they're like asking them questions and stuff. And they're just like, I guess the streamer just is ignoring me. And you're like, he's not live. This is yesterday's live stream that he just literally re-streaming a video of, man. I don't know. I just feel bad. There's like naive viewers coming in and they think they're watching a live stream and they're not. Because like, yeah. Did Twitch remove the ability to like have built-in rebroadcasts, by the way? Because for a long time that was a big thing, was the built-in Twitch rebroadcast, where people would just leave their stream running 24/7. All right, Link's getting in the main, guys. Nice little run by. MAXPAX handling it though. Handles it just fine. A nice quick third hatchery for Dark. Now Dark's been leaving one worker on gas today. This is a new thing. He's done every matchup, every game today. He just like, I think he's enjoying having the capability of having that early 100 gas, so you can reactively just drop a layer real quick if you want to. And it's not like it's taking a lot of minerals away from your build. It's just, recently we stopped doing this in the last 6 months to a year as Zerg players, because we basically said it's so hard to get enough Lings to defend the Adepts, enough Queens and Spores to defend the Oracles without falling behind. So we want everything focused on minerals, right? You'll see Rogue not put back on gas till 4.5 minutes sometimes. Just 0 gas mine past the 100 for the Ling speed. And it is a good way of maximizing the very fundamental things that you need more than anything else in the matchup. Zergling does get taken out there. Of course, you get a full refund, but you just lose the lava, the potential production. Alright, Oracle dancing down. Queen's there as well. Lair, very quick. And a 4th hatchery. Whoa. Are we going to see an Evo chamber next? Is he going to try and play Mass Zergling? Or is this just Ling Hydra with a very quick 4th hatchery? It's such a gamble, that 4th hatchery. MAXPAX sees it. Stalker at the 3rd. Gets surrounded. Great catch. Keeps his Overlord alive and kills the Stalker. Does get a probe as well, but with the Oracle there, he will have to run away. He did lose 2 drones at the same time, and that Oracle barely getting damaged. It did a little run by behind the natural on the 3rd, so good play by MAXPAX to at least get something back. But he loses a probe and a Stalker of his own, so I think Dark's reasonably happy. He does go Evo Chamber. I think this is just Hydraling off the greediest build available. And fast 4th bases don't really improve your build very much, especially if you just get supply blocked constantly. Because you can't really afford to get the hatchery and build the defense you need and also not get supply blocked. But because Dark gets supply blocked every game anyway, it's really good for him to get away with greedy builds like this. Because having an earlier base, you don't need clean macro to take advantage of that once you get there. It's just going to be really helpful in general. And you can see he is going Hydra Den +1 range. So if you guys play sloppy StarCraft, one of the best things to do, you'll see a lot of low GM players do this, where they just take really quick 4th base, really quick 5th base. Kind of gambling, they'll get away with it. And a lot of people think, well, that's so greedy, but you got to realize it's not like a Terran or a Protoss taking a base where the base can only serve an economic function. Hatchery for Zerg is production. It could just be used like an extra barracks or gateway to build more army. It doesn't have to get droned up. It's the drones that are the big expense. A 275 mineral hatchery does not cost that much, and I feel like Dark has got to a pretty excellent position off of this greed. Oracle gets pushed back. There's still one at home, and he's going to be a charge opening. Few Archons morphing as well. I think if you don't make Storm soon as MAXPAX, you're really going to struggle to deal with a Roach Hydra push. Or even just pure Hydra. Roach Warren goes down 74 workers for Dark. He's rich this game. I think for Dark, if he does Roach Hydra drops, it's actually excellent against what he's playing against. Because he's got so much money. If he can take maybe one more gas, but basically just play pure Roach Hydra and Overlord speed and drops, it's going to be really good. Because you can frontal push and drop at the same time. And I think MAXPAX, just the opening he's had comparatively, will struggle to defend that. Zealot Archon comes in. Queen's trying to fall back. Queens are very tanky units, and with Hydras behind them, they should shut this down. A couple of Zealots go down. Lings come in from behind, trapping the Archons. Oh, Dark moved forward, almost got one of the Oracles. He gets both Archons. Excellent, excellent hold for Dark. Those Lings from behind were just perfectly timed. Prism's going to go across the map. We've got 8 Templar Archives here as well. More gateways coming in. Whew. Dark, man. Gets kind of stomped game 1. And he shows us Dark things. 9 more Overlords. Another big supply block there, but at least he won't get supply block pretty much for the rest of this game. So now all those Overlords have freed up his supply, and I don't think it's too inefficient. Zealot, he'll take that for a Zergling any day of the week, but here comes the Zealots into the main, and oh! Okay, another Zealot goes down. MAXPAX paying some tax right now to keep the Prism alive, and he's kind of stuck on 3 base. I think if MAXPAX takes a 4th, he's screwed. I think the best plan for MAXPAX is basically gamble on the fact that Dark doesn't really play much late game. He doesn't want to play late game. You can start a 4th Nexus, but don't probe it. Just make double Robo Immortal and as many High Templar as possible. And Archons, potentially. But right now, he's building an Observer. I think Immortal production far more important than that. I think this is a huge mistake to not be building Immortals or a second Robo right now. And if he goes for a Fleet Beacon, that's a disaster. There we go. Next Immortal does start. I mean, a few Zealots and a Prism being active is nice, but it all comes down to surviving till a critical mass of Storm Immortal Archon. And right now, 2 Immortals and a few Zealots, not enough units to protect against that. I think he's going to morph Archons here. Yeah. Needs just more meat, more damage. Roach Hydra on the front right now, guys. Going to come in and deny his 4th. Roach Hydra on the south as well, causing problems. Storm in the middle, mostly dodged. Stasis Trap's not able to do enough here. Look at this setup for Dark. The Storms are being avoided. The Roach Hydra's just going into the natural right now. They're going to take out those warping in Zealots, and there's just not enough straight-up fighting support for these High Templar. MAXPAX really needed to just mass Immortals. Even then, it would have been hard to defend. If he had like 4 Immortals out, it still would have been so difficult. But you can see the way Dark's just hitting the perfect timing window. Getting on into that natural. Good Storms on those Hydras does pretty well. Those Immortals getting damaged. They're out in the open. Cannot afford to lose those Immortals. The barrier comes off cooldown at the perfect time. Another Immortal pops out over there behind the battery. Dude, MAXPAX cleaning up a lot of this army. The rally a little slow here for Dark. He has 1,500 minerals, 300 gas in the bank. He's building 3 more queens right now. Looks like, I guess, his army had to go back to defend the Prism, because the Prism is dead, guys. He must have had to pull into the main to defend that Prism or over to this base. He didn't lose any drones, but he lost 2 queens. And that actually bought MAXPAX enough time to survive. Surviving is not winning, though. MAXPAX still facing a Dark that's going to 5 base, massing Roach Hydra, making melee upgrades, and can keep on doing that attack. And for MAXPAX, securing a 4th base seems like a near impossible feat in this situation. It's going to have to do the energy recharge. Once again, Pig, you know what I'm going to say? I actually don't this time. I think it's so funny because we have Giant Gnome in chat who's always saying, why do you hate on Dark? Dark plays perfect. He doesn't get supply blocked. He optimizes his supply. That's all. Like, he memes about Dark being perfect, right? I think Matt memes about Dark not knowing how to play StarCraft, but being the best player in the world despite it. Roach Hydra coming in. Nice. Stormy Storms. Immortal High Templar doing their thing. Roach Hydra looking excellent here. More storms go down on that. We've got the Zealot counterattack getting overrun as well. The Nexus goes down. MAXPAX back to 2 bases. Great storms. Oh, he needs some more Farcons. He didn't more Farcons in time. Oh no, the High Templar get gunned down. And that is brutal. Oh, Matt's a big Roach Hydra fan, aren't you? Yeah, yeah. If Protoss players are stupid enough to rush 4th bases and try to rush like Tempests and stuff and double Forges and not just build more Immortal and Psystorm, Roach Hydra's a really good comp. No. I know I hate on Roach Hydra a little bit. I do think it has its uses. You know, I'll mix it in there as well. I think if you have a good start, it's got a pretty brutal timing and it's so good defensively as well. Dude, these Immortals just not going down though. It feels like MAXPAX is so dead and yet he refuses to die. I mean, right now, it feels like Dark is trying to do that ritual those Iron Islanders do, where he's like holding MAXPAX's head under the waves. He's like, what is dead may never die? What is dead may never die? And MAXPAX is just like, Dad, stop trying to drown me. This is messed up, dude. Dark's like, this is part of our religion, son. You're going to learn about it, okay? And yeah, I don't know. MAXPAX not enjoying it, yet somehow surviving. Units lost tab is in favor of Dark. Even though some of these fights have gone in favor of MAXPAX massively. He's lost multiple Nexi, pylons, batteries, all these probes as well, and that's where all that efficiency comes out. Contaminate comes in. Double Robo wasn't even being used because MAXPAX is broke though. And he does need to be spamming energy recharge. Guys, this situation, not using energy recharge, isn't this just crazy? That in this situation where you have like 1 storm ready, it isn't the instinct of MAXPAX to energy recharge? I feel like Protoss players at the pro level have been so slow to improve their energy recharge. They only do it when an army's in front of them. I think it's a huge mistake. I'd love to hear anyone's argument for not doing it. I don't think there's anything good other than if you're not in an urgent situation, sometimes it's more important to have a reactive storm somewhere. But in this sort of game where you're just trying to survive on 3 base, you just need as many storms as possible. Great storms on the front, by the way. Can that Immortal finish the ball off? Yes, he can. Dude, amazing storms. The Dark, drowning MAXPAX in the numbers of Zerg. There's just no way to keep up here. MAXPAX, I mean, I think it's very heroic the way he's hanging on. These Immortals, by the way, 11 kills, 10 kills. Don't pick them up. I was kill checking, man. MAXPAX, unload. I want to see the kill count on that Immortal. Come on. Well, that's one way of doing it. He loads the Prism up with Immortals, flies it into the Hydras, and then taps. All right, guys. MAXPAX in the bottom right goes for a no scout opening on El Dorado. You might be wondering, why are we starting these games 3 minutes in? It's because I'm trying to eat lunch at the same time. It is chaotic running live tournaments, casting live tournaments, playing in live tournaments. Yeah, sometimes we do miss the early game. So I was just trying to squeeze some food in. Eating a lovely Vietnamese vermicelli bowl salad there. Very good, very tasty, but interesting to see Dark here. Going 13 Overlord again. We had a question from the chat. Matt said, how many months do you think before Koreans start going 15 Overlord? Well, Shin studies build orders, Solar studies build orders, but Dark and Rogue are both too gifted to care. They are just too lazy to study build orders, in my opinion. So I don't see Dark or Rogue ever doing it, like ever. And they're just they'll quit StarCraft before they update their opening build orders. Rogue has had moments where he looks brilliant recently, but I do not sense that he is dedicated to the game. Now, I'm not sure if Rogue has ever been dedicated to StarCraft, to be honest. I think Rogue is one of those truly gifted genius players who has never put in as much effort as a Solar or a Shin. Don't get me wrong, I know Solar hasn't started doing it either. I think I might have seen him do it one game, actually. I'm not sure. But Shin has started doing it, I believe. I mean, he was already doing the precursor to it, right? The 14 or the 15 Overlord some games. So he was already doing a more efficient build order. And if you guys are wondering what is the whole deal with 15 Overlord, it is just a more efficient way of opening that people, a decade into Legacy of the Void, Lambo finally realized and put out, he's kind of the efficiency god, the build order guy for Zerg. And he said, look, guys, I made a mistake. Shin's been doing 14 Overlord for a long time. People told me it's more efficient. I went and benchmarked it, and it came out worse in all of the replays I looked at than a normal 16 hatch off a 13 Overlord build. And yeah, he said, so therefore I just drew that conclusion after looking at a few replays. Turns out in hindsight, the replays he looked at, Shin just kind of messed up a few basic things in the openings that he didn't realize. So if you do it perfectly, you actually do come out a few seconds ahead on your hatchery, a little bit ahead on just your early minerals. You're just a bit further ahead if you do 15 Overlord because you squeeze those 2 drones out faster. So just an interesting thing to keep in mind. 4 drones going down is pretty big, guys. Not with a great start in Game 3, but he's got the fast Hydras out, and that does feel good because it gives you massive control. The question is, with this supply block, I mean, it just feels like he's so permanently supply blocked. And, I've talked about how Dark, he'll show up to like a GSL Finals, not get supply blocked once. He'll play Serral in the semi-finals of like a big Masters tournament, and you'll go, cool, this is great, big ESL Masters, and Dark won't get supply blocked once, and it will be like nail-bitingly close, where Serral is so stressed out and barely beats him 3-1 or 3-2. And you're like, we know Dark's capable of not getting supply blocked, he just doesn't get, like, some people don't get out of bed for less than $10,000, Dark doesn't get not supply blocked for less than $10,000, basically. Lurkiden, Lairtech Lurker all in, wow! These oracles get sniped, that could be really big. That could be really big. 47 worker all in for Dark, guys. He's just throwing the kitchen sink at MAXPAX, but he's got a backup battery, backup cannons. Stalker count's growing. It's going to be really hard to get through this for Dark, especially if he doesn't bring an Overseer. Oh, he didn't bring an Overseer. I mean, you can use Zerglings, but you got to spread them forward. There's another one. Big stasis trap there. Dark not bringing his whole army forward. MAXPAX blinking forward, a little cocky maybe, does get a Hydra for his troubles. And I think now he wants to rotate and isolate those Hydras on the top flank. If he can move his Stalkers up here, that would be ideal. MAXPAX in a bit of an awkward position. I think he's got to rotate those Stalkers to the north. Probes being forced off the line. Dark trying to shove it right now. The Lings on the probes is massive. MAXPAX probes are getting wrecked. Dude, is Dark just going to 2-1 MAXPAX with a 48 probe time, 48 drone timing? Maybe, but I don't know, man. His Lings are all gone. His Ling Reinforce has not felt that good. He's floating 700 minerals. I don't think he's been injecting during this. And you really need to be perfect on your basics. Yeah, look at that. He's missed 3 injects in the main, 2 on the natural, 2 on the third. He wasn't injecting at all while doing an all-in. This is classic Dark, guys. Does a really clever, surprising build no one does at high level. It would 100% have worked if he actually was injecting and spending his money. Maybe not 100%, but pretty close to it. Just too many basic errors there for Dark, and MAXPAX holds on. And once again, I think Dark, strategically, great decision-making a lot of the time, but it just, there's too many basic errors. I mean, I'll show you guys here. People often ask why I hate on Dark. I don't hate on him, guys. I criticize obvious mistakes that he makes. And it's like, you're doing an all-in. You need to keep on injecting these hatcheries. Where are the injects? He's not injecting either his main or his natural. He did inject his third, but he misses a full inject in the main. Okay, he does this one. Now it's 6:15. Let's see, does he inject on cooldown? He does a second one there. He stops injecting the third base because he runs all his queens into his main because he thinks there's a warp prism coming or because of an oracle. He pulled in because of an oracle and he doesn't inject this hatchery. It's a bit too sloppy. You can't be having a big supply block into skipping a few injects. Not when you're doing a big all-in like this. Especially eating that stasis trap. He's got to be a bit better at spotting those stasis traps as well. It might be worth Dark changing his graphic settings so it's easier to see invisible units. Because he is running into stasis traps way too consistently. GG well played though. Great hold from MAXPAX.